I've got my 2018 beauty favorites to share with you guys today, and I really tried to keep it to things that I discovered in 2018 or that came out in 2018. And it was funny, when I was going through my stuff, I was grabbing things that I was like, I need to check my 2017 favorites, beauty favorites video to see if I put those in there. And a ton of products that I still love and still use currently to this day are in that 2017 favorites video. So I'm going to link that down below because I still use and love all those products, and I don't want to be repetitive again for the 2018 beauty favorites, but I still love a ton of those products and use them constantly. So I'm going to go ahead and link that down below. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and start off with some hair care products. This first one is by the brand Pravana, and it's called the Perfect Blonde. This is the purple toning shampoo. I also have and use the conditioner in conjunction with this. This is one of the best purple shampoo products that I have ever tried for blonde hair. I've been going off and on blonde for several years, and I have well water at my house that has a really strong iron content in it. So it's the kind that you have to clean like your sink very frequently and stuff like that, or it like will stain it like an orange color. It does the same thing to my hair. It drives me crazy. It just really does a number on blonde hair. And for years I've tried different things to try to get that out, and nothing ever really worked until this guy right here. I rotate it with a blonde shampoo and conditioner from Redken that's also really good, but this one here takes the cake. When you guys have seen like the purple tones in my hair, that was actually from this. So when I put the shampoo on, I kind of focus it mostly on the roots and the top of my hair, because these purple type of shampoos tend to dry hair out. Every once in a while I'll run it all the way down, but I don't know if you guys know or not, I have really, really long hair. You can never tell like on camera, but I try to not shampoo the ends as frequently as like kind of my scalp, but I do every so often to brighten up the ends. But this here, I leave it kind of in my scalp. The longer that I leave it in my hair, the more tendency it has to tint it violet, and I actually like the violet, so I'll purposely leave it on to get some violet hues in my hair because I think it's really pretty. But all my years of going blonde, I was never able to get that blonde back in my hair after I had left the salon until I come across this guy right here. My mom actually had purchased it prior, and she didn't like that it was tinting her hair purple, and I was like, give that to me. And I absolutely love it. I believe the shampoo is the workhorse behind it, but I also really like the conditioner. It's one of the more conditioning purple shampoo and conditioners that I've tried. So if you have blonde hair and you're looking to get that brass out of it and possibly get it even a little more violet, again, leave it on a little longer and you'll get some violet. This is an amazing shampoo and conditioner line, this Pravana. And then next I have this Inner Sense Sweet Spirit Leave-In Conditioner. This, I've gone through several bottles of this. If you watch my empties videos, you may have seen it in there. This is the little guy because I just got my hair done last week, and I always take like my own leave-in conditioners and stuff when I go get my hair done. And I think I forgot it in the salon because I can't find my big bottle anywhere. It's like a brand new bottle too. But this here, it doesn't have like a bunch of silicones in it. Silicones really make your hair feel nice and slick, but they don't really nourish the actual hair. I feel like this nourishes my hair, and it doesn't just like leave a coating of a silicone on it. So for that reason I really like it. And this Inner Sense brand is an all natural brand as well, so I really like this. Been through several bottles of it. Getting into a few skincare products, Leilani is one of my favorite skincare brands. I use a ton of their products. The cleansing powder is one of my all-time faves. Again, if you see my empties, I go through those like crazy. But one that came out in 2018, a product of theirs, is the Pamplemousse Tropical Enzyme Cleansing Oil. This is actually a brand new bottle because I just finished up my last one. And I like to use this kind of as a morning cleanse. On the weekends, like Saturdays and Sundays and stuff, I like to massage this all over my face, and then I like to put a mask on afterwards. This will remove makeup and stuff like that, but it's so luxurious that I like to use it to really nourish my skin and cleanse it while still nourishing it. So I kind of savor it for using it like that. Instead of like removing makeup, I'll use something that's a little bit cheaper. But this smells amazing, and it really does, I feel like, nourish the skin while also cleaning it, and it doesn't strip my skin at all. It's just a really beautiful product. There are several products from the Leilani line that I enjoy. This is one of my favorites, and then also the Kalima cleansing powder is beautiful. Then I've got the Drunk Elephant De Bronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Serum. That is such a tongue twister to say, Sunshine Serum. It's this guy right here. This is probably my third or fourth bottle of this. I like to add this into my moisturizer sunscreen combo. And you guys, I am back on the Josie Maran SPF 47. I've gone through several tubes of the Drunk Elephant Umbra sunscreen, the tinted version, and I really love that product, but I think that might have congested my pores a little bit more, and I was really heck bent on the idea that Josie Maran was breaking me out, and then it was coming into the springtime, which my skin always breaks out when the weather changes like that, so I wouldn't doubt if that kind of had something to do with it, and that's when I switched from Josie Maran to the Drunk Elephant. I miss the Josie Maran. One of the biggest things that I noticed was during the summertime, if I was to sweat or something like that, my makeup, because I've been using quite a few powder foundations, came off really easily, and it was a lot easier to wash off the Drunk Elephant than it was the Josie Maran, which kind of told me that it might have never been lasting on my skin as long while I was outside. And I really like the idea that the Josie Maran really clings to the skin like that, because it's going to last out there in the sun, and it's got two forms of mineral sunscreens in it too, so I kind of feel like it helps out with the rays, having both the titanium dioxide and the zinc in there. The Drunk Elephant only has, I think it's 20% zinc oxide in theirs. I still really like the Drunk Elephant, but I am back on the Josie Maran. And then to get a tint in there, they do sell, Josie Maran sells a tinted version of the sunscreen, which I also really like that version, but right now I don't have any, so I've been adding a pump of the Bronzy because it has quite a few antioxidants and stuff in it, anti-pollution type properties, which I really like. And then these next two are fairly recent discoveries, and I was very skeptical about them, but I love both of these products a lot. They're by BioEffect, so I've got the BioEffect Osa Water Mist, which it's an interesting packaging. So like the tube of the sprayer must go all the way down, you tip it upside down, and then it has a sprayer, but it's in a tube packaging. I do find that you have to push the nozzle, push it really fast to get the mist to disperse more fine, otherwise it kind of shoots out at you. But this really does a good job of actually hydrating my skin if I need an extra pick-me-up during the day, and it doesn't make me like oily or greasy. Some face sprays, I can spray them on during the middle of the day thinking that I'm going to get more hydration in my face, and my face actually ends up looking kind of shiny on top but more dehydrated on bottom. This one doesn't do that for me, so I really like this. I've got like 3 bottles of this. And then the next one is the BioEffect EGF serum. This is insanely expensive for a ½ ounce of product. This is what I've been using around my eye area, and I have tried so many different eye creams, so many different eye serums, and the biggest thing with this is I noticed that when I wake up in the morning, my eye area still has hydration around it, which is, I can't say that for hardly any products, eye products that I've tried, but this hydrates my eye skin so well. It's for the face, but a ½ ounce, especially for somebody like me who I'm a heavy product user when it comes to skincare, I just am, I would blow through this so quickly. They do sell the eye serum, and I actually got a little bottle of that in a set that I ordered around the holidays, and I used that up, and I really like the eye serum as well, but it's 0.2 ounces for $90, and then this guy's a ½ ounce for $160. It's so expensive. And the whole thing behind this line is got this EGF, environmental growth factor, that helps to like renew the cells to a younger cell. I've read the science behind it, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. Whether or not it's doing that, I'm not sure, but a hydrated eye area is definitely going to soften fine lines as opposed to having a drier eye area. So I'm constantly trying to keep that skin around my eyes hydrated, and this is one of the best products that I've found that does that. I just take the dropper out, put a little bit on my finger, and that's enough for my entire eye area, and it doesn't give me little red bumps or anything like that around my skin. I have a really sensitive skin type that's prone to reacting, especially around the eye area, to eye products, and this one here does a really good job. This is a all natural brand as well. Next up, let's talk about some tools. The Sonia G brushes have been some of my favorite things to use all of last year and continuing into this year. And I just seen Beautylish sent out an email, and she's coming out with a pro face set, and I can just hardly contain my excitement. I have purchased several of these brushes, and then I've also had some of them sent to me by both Sonia and Beautylish. I get asked quite a bit if I still love and use my Wayne Goss brushes, and absolutely I love my Wayne Goss brushes. Hakuhodo, Chikuhodo, Wayne Goss, and Sonia G are by far my most used makeup brushes, both face brushes and eye brushes. I use multiple brushes from all those brands every single day. And one of the biggest differences I find with those brands is Wayne Goss, Chikuhodo, and Hakuhodo, they all kind of have a similar feel to them in terms of like the handle and the way that they're made. And I feel like Sonia G's brushes are different in that the construction of them is just different than those ones. While the bristle quality of all four is pretty much the same, the biggest difference I find is in the ferrule and the handle of the brush. I believe that I had read that there were like 8 lacquers of coating on the outside of this handle to get them to look like that. And then she's got her like emblem on the bottom here. There's something that just feels like when you're putting on your makeup with these, that just feels luxurious. I love to use these brushes. It's like an experience. And I have every brush in her line, and I think the only ones that I don't use are the pencil brushes. I use all of the face brushes, all the eye brushes from the Pro Set and the regular line. It's just the pencil brushes are about the only one that I don't use. I will use them to kind of spot conceal though, but I mainly don't use them just because I don't typically use a pencil brush. I pulled 3 of the brushes that I have several of. This first one is the Sculpt 1. This is one of my favorite bronzing brushes. You can turn it this way to really get a sculpted cheekbone, and then you can also use the flat side kind of like on your forehead, and it just does a really good job of applying bronzer while also being able to sculpt and blend out bronzer. I love this brush. And then one of my favorite little highlighting brushes, this is the Sculpt 3, and it's a mini fan brush. I like that it's not so long that it wisps everywhere. You can really concentrate highlighter on an area and just really buff it into the skin, and it's just the cutest little fan brush. All of my new pro eye brushes are in my pile of brushes that need to be washed. But this one here is clean. This is the Worker 1. This is just a great multi-purpose brush. I feel like you can do an entire eye look with just this. You can use it on its side to pack on the lid. You can put it, you know, in the crease because it does kind of have a pinch to it and blend out. It's just a really good multi-purpose brush, and calling it the Worker 1 I think fits. And it's super soft. This also comes in a white bristle as well. The white bristles will have a little bit more structure to them. They're going to buff out product a little bit quicker than the darker haired. And then I had forgotten to mention these so many times in favorites videos. They're like a little unsung hero that I use every single day. And these are the e.l.f. lip oils. I've got 2 of them to show you guys here. That's how much I've used of these. I've got Coral Kiss and Pink Kiss. So here's Pink Kiss and here's Coral Kiss. And what I do with these is when I'm done with my whole face makeup, I take and put on one of these lip oils over my lips for when I'm doing my eye makeup to kind of nourish them before I put on lipstick. And it kind of serves 2 purposes: to nourish my lips, and then also when I go to wipe them off, it cleans off any powder or foundation or anything that may have gotten on my lips. And they're just a great product for that. I don't feel like the formula is too thin where it like slides all over the place. It kind of has a nice viscosity, if you will, for a lip oil, and they're really inexpensive. I just think that they're really good products. And then out of all the concealers that have been coming out lately and in the year 2018, this has been my favorite. The formulation of this is just outstanding. And this is the CoverEffect Power Play Concealer. There's 0.33 fluid ounces of product in there, which is a decent amount. I'm holding the shade P Light 1, and that's what I have underneath my eyes today. The formula is really thin and it blends out incredibly, and it covers. It covers so well underneath the eye without feeling heavy, cakey, or dry, and it doesn't migrate into my little eye rolls either. So I just love the formulation of this. If I could change one thing, that would be the only thing, was that it had a little bit more pink in it. But other than that, this is a stellar concealer. So this is P Light 1. Again, this is what I have underneath my eyes. It's got a crazy applicator. I will say, because it's kind of bigger like that, it does create a little bit of a mess around the opening of the concealer, but stellar stuff. And then I've got like a new old product. Dior came out with their Dior Backstage collection, and they came out with these little eyebrow palettes. It's very similar to the one that is in the larger that comes with the brushes. But since this came out in 2018, I'm going to go ahead and mention it because it is my most used brow powder product. This one over here is a wax. I typically don't use the wax. I use this lighter one kind of in the front portion, and then I mix between the two mostly for the tail. And it just does a really good job. I've got this on today as well. Those are the colors right there. Because I have got the blonde one. There's only two versions of this. There's a light and a dark. This is the light. 001. And then for a brow gel, this Milk Makeup Kush Fiber Brow Gel in the shade Haze, which is the blonde version. I've gone through several tubes of this. Originally, they sent me all of their, like their brow collection when it first launched. And I had this haze color in my cart already, and then I was so excited when I got them in PR. But I have purchased several of these since then. I think this is probably my 4th tube of this stuff. It's my most used brow gel. One of the biggest things, I feel like it defines the hairs and it gives a bit of definition because it's colored. And it holds them decently without making them feel crispy. One of the biggest things though is it doesn't break my eyebrows out. I have such a problem with brow products, especially gels and pomades, like breaking out my eyebrows. I think that's bizarre. Is that bizarre? Am I the only one? This does not do that, and it also makes my brows look nice. So this is the shade Haze right here. And again, I've got this on my brows today as well. This next product kind of isn't new, but I kind of feel like I discovered how much I loved it in 2018. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in the shade Iconic Nude. I'd gone through several of Pillow Talk and Pink Venus back and forth over the years, but I never really used Iconic Nude like I've been using it in 2018 and then currently, and I've got it on right now. But this is just an awesome lip liner. I'm like, why was I snoozing on Iconic Nude, man? Because it's awesome. So I'll just swatch it here. I have it on today with the next lip products that I'm going to show you. Lipsticks was a little bit of a challenging one because I still use Kim KW and I still use the Buxom Guilty Angel. I still use Nikki's Nude from MAC. I still use those like crazy. But I mentioned all those in 2017. These are the other ones that I've been using a ton of, and they did come out in 2018. So these are the Nude, Too Faced Nude lipsticks, and I have got on the shade Strip Search today with the Iconic Nude from Charlotte Tilbury. These have a really nice color payoff and they're real substantial and they have like a glossy finish, but they last really well too, and they're opaque. So let me swatch these. This one here is Send Nudes, which is a warmer nude. And then the one I have on today is Strip Search. And then the other shade that I have got is Birthday Suit. And I kind of wear all of these frequently. Look at, they just have really great pigmentation. I can't remember the exact name of the collection, but it's these lipsticks right here from Too Faced. The other lip product that I can't get enough of are these Pat McGrath lip balms. I've got several that are like the sheer color balm, and then I've got several that are the lip fetish lip balms. I love all of them. They're just really nice, easy to throw on products. The one that I have right here, I pulled these two out of my purse because these are the ones that I've been wearing kind of the most. But all of the ones that I've purchased, both in, again, the lip fetish sheer color balm and the lip fetish balm, I love. So this one here is 521 Blow Up, and this is the lip fetish sheer color balm. Pretty nude. It's just a really moisturizing, easy lip product to have like in your purse to just throw on without having to like worry about what it looks like. And this next one is the Gold Astral Lip Fetish Lip Balm, and I've used so much of this. I really want to get another one. This one hangs with me in my purse. This one is the one with the little glitters in it, and it smells like vanilla. It smells so good. Sometimes I just like to smell this because it smells so good. So anyway, this is what this one looks like. Even easier to throw on. A tiny, tiny bit of color, but I love the little sparkles that it puts on the lips, and it's hydrating. Next up, I have two powder foundations, and last year and into this year, I've just really been going for the powder foundations. They're so much easier for me to throw on my face. And the one that I have on my face right now is the Bare Minerals Blemish Rescue Skin Clearing Loose Powder Foundation, and I wear two shades. This one's actually empty. I used it up today. I use Fair 1C, which still isn't light enough really for my skin tone, but I make it work. So I use Fair 1C kind of underneath like my concealer area and through the center of the face, and then I buff out medium 3C around the outer perimeter. Again, that's what I have on my face today. I wish that this foundation had an SPF in it like the original version, because this here, out of all the Bare Minerals foundations that I've tried, which I've tried them all, I like their liquid Bare Pro. That's a beautiful liquid foundation. But this powder foundation just looks so pretty on the skin, and it's really easy to use. This does have salicylic acid in it as well, which helps with blemishes. And then the other one is the Pure Cosmetics 4-in-1. This one does have SPF 15 in it. This is a little bit heavier of a powder compared to the Bare Minerals one. I do like to use it if I'm going to be outside a little bit more, because it does have that extra SPF in it, or if I want a little bit more full coverage, or if I'm trying to like cover up an issue that I may be having, I'll go for this guy in terms of powder foundation. I use 2 shades in this as well. I use the shade Porcelain, again, kind of under that concealer area and through the center of my face, and then around the outer perimeter I buff out with the Blush medium shade, which are both the pink undertone shades. I've been through so many of these this past year, it's ridiculous. Let's just get into some highlighters, shall we? I've got a few of them. This first one I have hit pan on. This is the Maybelline New York Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter. This is the one they did in collaboration with Nikki Tutorials. I have several of these on backup because I love it. And I hope that they put this in the permanent range, because this is the only one out of that range. I've tried a few of this Master Chrome kind, not to be mistaken with the other one that I love, which is the Master Holographic. I mentioned that one in 2017. This one here is the only one that's light enough for my skin tone in this range. So I hope they add it to the permanent line. But this is awesome. High Shine Awesomeness from the drugstore. So pretty. These are all pretty similar, by the way. This next one is the Ofra highlighter in Star Island. I love all of the Ofra highlighters that I have. This formula is really, really high shine and easy to use. This is what I have on the top of my cheekbones and like the highlighty points of my face today. I've used this so much. It's such a gorgeous highlighter. Again, all of these are champagne-y highlighters that are light enough to kind of lift on my fair skin tone. Look how pretty! So you can see kind of, this has a little bit more of a brightened factor compared to the Maybelline. And then this next one, which I have backups of, and now they've re-released it, which is great because it's an amazing highlighter, but I didn't need to buy all the backups. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlighter, the Baked Gelée formula that I love. This looks so pretty on the skin. It's really metallic. I use this massively throughout the year and a ton, like I overhaul this baby in the summertime because it's so pretty. This one is a little bit deeper of a gold than the other 2 highlighters that I showed, but it still looks super pretty on the skin. So you can see just how much more yellow that one is compared to these other 2. So if the Amrezy didn't work for you and it was too dark because you have a really fair, try these 2 right here because those are amazing. But those would be my most worn highlighters, and one palette, which is also by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and that's the Dream Glow Kit. I've used this a massive amount. It's a little bit more of a chunkier texture than some of her other highlighter palettes, but it's kind of one of those deals where the magic happens when you really buff it into the skin. It just provides almost like a wet look to the top of the cheeks. It's just stunning. And surprisingly enough, all of these shades work on my fair skin tone. I just really buff them in and they look so nice. So let's swatch a few of these guys for you. They're so pretty. See that? It's got like this. Let's kind of buff them. It just gives this wet look to the skin that I think is beautiful. Isn't that pretty? It's like mermaids. But I love this palette. This is the Anastasia, again, Dream Glow Kit. And the only blushes that I could think of that I've reached for more consecutively than others were these Jouer blush duos. The blush that I really wanted to grab again was Benefit California. Again, that was my most used blush in 2018. It's got that big jelly texture, beautiful on the skin. I just keep mentioning it, so I'm like, you need to pick something else. But I do reach for blushes, different blushes in my collection all the time. The California one is one that I go to a lot. Otherwise, I'm pretty sporadic when it comes to blushes. But these two in particular, I know that I've reached for a little bit more than others. So that's why I'm kind of bringing these guys up. So I've got the Flirt Blush Duo, which is the more pinky one. And oftentimes what I do is I just mix the two colors together. And this one is more like a satin, and then this one has a shimmer to it. And then this is them mixed right here. They're a really easy blush product to throw on, and you can kind of customize them with the amount of sheen you want in the cheeks. And then the one that I have on my cheeks today is the Rose Gold one. And this one also kind of has a satin and a shimmer in it. And there's another one of these too. I actually want to get both of the other two, and I just haven't done it yet because I do quite like these a lot. So those are the blush duos from Jouer, and this one is the Rose Gold. Other than that, almost every baked jelly blush in my collection I love. And then moving on to bronzers. Too Faced for the win, man. This first one is the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil. The reason why I have two of them is to show you just how much I love I love this bronzer. And it smells like chocolate, and it's just the prettiest actual bronze glow on the skin. It's not too orange, it doesn't go muddy, it blends out pretty. It just gives my skin the prettiest bronze glow to it, and I love this stuff. So I used up an entire compact of that guy, and here is the other one. It does have like slight gold shimmers running through it, but I don't feel like they're overbearing on the skin at all. So just look how pretty this is. It's just the prettiest bronze color. And it smells so good. And the other one that I reached for a ton, and I think I need to get a backup of this too because I believe it's limited edition. And it's the Too Faced Unicorn Tears Iridescent Mystical Bronzer. For one, the packaging. I love unicorns. And then there's a purple unicorn kind of in the center of the powder that goes all the way through the powder. And this actually has a slight sunburned undertone to it, which on my skin tone, being as pink as I am, looks really flattering. This has more shine to it than the Chocolate Soleil Gold bronzer does. This is what I have on my skin to bronze up today, but I love this one. The tone of it just works really, really well with my skin tone. The purple unicorn, don't be fooled by him. He's just chilling. It's a really beautiful bronzer. A little bit darker than the Chocolate Soleil, but you can see that there's a little bit more of a rosiness to this one and a little bit more of a shine. And this one smells like chocolate too. Okay, moving on to my biggest category, and I tried like heck not to be repetitive, so I grabbed all like newer products that I absolutely love. These Lime Crime Diamond Dews. These have kind of taken the place of the Stila Glitter and Glows. I still have a ton of the Stila Glitter and Glows, and I still use them, and I still love them. They're just drying out at a rapid pace. I'm probably going to squish some Inglot Duraline in there to see if I can't revive the ones that have dried out more. But these ones have a twisty top. They perform much the same as the Stila Glitter and Glows. Some of them have maybe a little less glitter than the Stila ones, but they pat over other eyeshadows really pretty, which is how I use the majority of the liquid glitter eyeshadows that I have. I like to just take, a little dot of it over kind of a corresponding eyeshadow or one that matches, and I just like to tap it out like this over the top, and it just puts a really pretty glimmery sheen on there. And then one of the prettiest, most unique shades of like single eye products that I got last year was the Marc Jacobs Glam Glitter Eyeshadow. And the most unique one out of those, I have several that are absolutely beautiful, and I like all of the ones that I have, but there's something special about this one. It's so multi-dimensional with like different flecks of colors in it. It's stunning. So this is 90 Topaz Flash from the Sequins from Marc Jacobs. I think they came out around holidays, but it's like a taupey bronze with gold, purple, silver shimmers in it, and it just glimmers in the light, something beautiful. So this is 90 Topaz Flash, and then let me give you a swatch of it. I'll just pull it off of the cover here. It's just so pretty. I hope this wasn't limited edition because I feel I feel like everybody needs this. I just do. So that's the sequins from Marc Jacobs in 90 Topaz Flash. I wonder if the camera's doing it justice. It's so multi-dimensional. Let's get into some eye palettes. I have quite a few of them. These are the ones that kind of came out last year that I've used an absolute ton. So first up is the Pat McGrath Labs Mothership 5 Bronze Seduction eyeshadow palette. This is what I have on my eyes today. I love all of my palettes like this. There's something extremely unique about Pat McGrath's shadows that I feel like is very difficult to do in makeup land nowadays, is to be unique, and these are unique. Some of these formulations, like I can't dupe some of these formulations. So like on my eyes today, I've got these two shades, and then I've got these two right here through the crease. And when I was blending out those two, I didn't mind that I was grabbing some of those shimmers, and they kind of ended up higher because they shift into a different type of a shine depending on what kind of eyeshadow they go over. I have these over my like bare lid, and then when it hit the brown, it like turns a little bit of a different sparkle, and I think it's really pretty. There's so many different ways you can do eye looks with her palettes. It's crazy. Let's do some swatches of some of these shades so you guys can kind of take a peek. These ones here you do have to be careful with because you will get fallout, but the shine that they give is just something crazy. Pretty. And the layering, depending on how you layer those shines, you can get them to look so pretty so many different ways depending on how you do it. This next palette is the Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. I'm referencing this one in particular because it's the most used that I have out of her palettes. I have got all three. I love all three, but this is the one that I have used the most. It is just a super awesome eyeshadow palette. You've got a little bit of spice down here in the corner. The shimmer shades are like metallic foiled almost shimmer. They're beautiful. And then the mattes up here, you've got deep, transition, highlight. They blend out beautiful. They're pigmented. I just adore Dominique Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. I think that they're great. Check out some of these shimmer shades. Super, super pretty. Here we'll do this teal, this brown, this orange. They're so buttery soft. They're substantial. They're not super powdery. I don't get a ton of fallout with these eyeshadows, although I swatched too much product and they're falling off my hand right now. They're just really, really great eyeshadows. I highly recommend this palette in particular. I like the other ones as well, but this is the one that I use the most of. And then next up, I've got the KKW Beauty eyeshadow palette. This is the second one she released. There's no name on the back. I thought there was a name. There's no name on the back. But this is the second one that she released. This is the most used ones that I have out of the three of hers that she has released. And I really like the shadow formula and the correlation of colors in her palettes. Same thing, great mattes and shimmers, both light, medium, and dark. They blend out really well. Very little fallout. Super easy to use eyeshadow palettes. This one is I think it's the warm one. It's my most used one out of the three that I have, although I really like all three of them. So let's swatch a few of these. And they're coordinated really, really well. Just a couple swatches. This one is a bit more of a recent palette as well, but I remember I mentioned the other foil palette that they did in my 2017 video, and I still love that one. But this is the Jouer Ultra Foil Eyeshadow Palette. I took this with me when I went to New York City. This is just an awesome, awesome lid palette. The shades are so, so metallic and so shiny. I love this. I've contemplated, I'm trying to be better about this, about the whole backup thing, you know, but I've contemplated a backup of this. I might go through it. I probably won't. But the shades are so pretty, and I think it's limited edition. So this is just a great, super, super shiny eyeshadow palette. And it's a pairing palette for me. Look at that. Oh, gorgeous. It's a pairing palette for me. So I had brought a matte palette along with this one. And I was able to get just several pretty looks out of it because there's so many different shades of shimmer, blue, green, warm, cool, purple, you know. So I love this palette so much. So that is the Jouer Ultra Foil Eyeshadow Palette. And I use these dry. Can you imagine if I actually used them foiled and wet? the Viseart Grand Pro Volume 2 palette. I'd mention all my Viseart palettes because I constantly use them throughout the year. This is one of their more recent releases that came out kind of towards the tail end there of 2018. This is again a pairing palette for me that I use kind of the same way that I use that Jouer palette. It's just loaded with like every super shimmery color that you would like want for the lid, and there's some stunning unique kind of duochrome shades in here. Like this yellow shifts a greeny gold, and then this one here is kind of like a blue brown purplish type of shade. The only ones that I'm not crazy about is this row right here, because the chunks of glitter in there are so large it's hard to get them to stick without a base of sorts. But if I like use my flat shader, pack some product on there and give it a tap, the majority of them will like kind of flake off, so I don't have to worry about them getting on my face. But the actual base colors of those are stunning as well. Like, see this blue? It's really, really gorgeous. So I'll just swatch a few of these. I did do a video on this palette, which if I can remember, I'll link it down below if you want to see that, where I do swatch it and do a look with it. But super, super pretty, ultra shimmery pairing palette for me as well, much like the Jouer one. And I use these dry as well, directly over primer, and they do just a really, really great job of providing that, like this really pretty glistening shine on the lid. And then I just put this palette together not that long ago, but I'm obsessed with this. I reach for this like crazy. It's like all of the best in one. And I gotta mention this brand too, this Adept Cosmetics brand. They do really, really awesome magnetic palettes, various different forms, like super large ones, small ones. This here is a double-sided one, and it worked perfectly for depotting a lot of my Viseart eyeshadows. These are all depotted from the new Pro packaging, or the Petite Pros, or the other ones are the Theory palettes that are in here. So I was able to just pull those out because the packaging of them are magnetic. So you have got the Warm Matte, the Original Matte, this is the Matte Brights, I think, Cool Mattes, and then you've got a ton of the Theory palettes are up here. Their newest Koi palette down here is stunning. This little situation right here is kind of how I use the Viseart Grand Pro Volume 2. Some of these shades are so stunning. And then over here are the Petite Pros right here. I mean, cool, right? I would never fly with this because can you imagine if they broke this? I would just bawl. But road tripping, this comes with me. And the quality of Viseart eyeshadows is just bomb. So I love that. And I love these Adept Cosmetics palettes. This is like a hard plastic with a double side. I don't think I showed you how cool this is. And then there's a middle right here, so you can keep the two sides separately. These are great too for face products, where if you wanted like just eye products in one side and then face products in the other. I did that when I went to California like 2 years ago, where I put one side was like blushes, bronzers, highlighters, and then eyeshadows on the other, and it was just like a one-stop shop. It was all I needed. And then lastly, I have got this Annick Goutal perfume. It's called Nuit et Confidences. I got this when I was in New York City. I have a few other Annick Goutal perfumes as well. Some of the most unique, beautiful perfumes I have ever smelled are these Annick Goutal. This is kind of a slight gourmand fragrance, but there's a twist in this that is just, I'm obsessed with this perfume. I could probably wear this every day for the rest of my life and be cool with it. And I thought I was obsessed with Byredo Gypsy Water, which, so yeah, I'm still obsessed with that one. But I'm really, really obsessed with this one. Originally, I was trying to use it sparingly because I didn't want to like go through it so fast. But then I was like, you know what, YOLO, man. And I've been spritzing because it makes me so happy the way it smells. But I love this guy. So that is everything for my 2018 beauty favorites. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.